People, deluded Gooner, I'm back again. Thank you very much for watching and tuning back in. Now, the optimism, in regards to getting Monchi into this club and a few other players you've seen linked with us, has quickly died down. We know in regards to Monchi coming into the club, whether it be as sporting director or technical director, is one that some of us wanted, some of us have concerns, and that's all fine and okay. But we knew it was just going to be more than dreaming / paper talk. We knew there's some truth into it because obviously David Ornstein kind of shedded some light on it, and there's unofficial reports Arsenal use him as a mouthpiece, or that's what some people speculate. Once she's come out and said, while he's flattered and all of these sort of things, he's got a project at Roma and all of these sort of things you'd expect someone in his position to come out with. And some of that could be true. In fact, all of it's true. Or he actually could move to the club. We'll have to see in regards to how that one develops. I did see somewhere, from what I've been researching on him, and I didn't know, apparently he spent a year in London learning the language, or if it wasn't a year, it was a significant part of time. So, I mean, I know it's not the weather's not the best, but if you saw something better yet that you liked with London or England, hopefully you come back to Arsenal. I do hope it happens. If not, I just hope someone competent comes into the role, to be honest. So that's in regards to the Monchi news. Now, allegedly, I don't know if this is just paper talk, but Eric Bailly or Manchester United have rejected a move from Arsenal to bring him into the club on a loan basis with an option to buy. Now, you've seen Unai Emery, while he kind of, I wouldn't say deflected the Denis Suárez questions asked at him at the press conference, and rightly so. He kind of dodged it and stuff and said everything but nothing. But what you took from that is he said we need a winger for the right or the left hand side. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing what he said, and he also said some players for this for centre half. Now again, he might have been lost in what he was actually trying to say, as he's still trying to adapt to the language in regards to players, because that's what was quoted, the S. So people might see that as a few. There is a case to bring on a few. Personally, I think what he meant by that is probably just one centre half. Now, and he'd fall under that. Now, we've been linked with Bailly before. Unai Emery spent time as a manager in La Liga. Bailly, fair enough, it was a brief period, but he spent time there as well, so he knows all about him. I mean, Bailly's having his own little stuff with Man United in that Jose, he is one of the best centre-halves they've got, but for one reason or another, he's not in the side. Him and Jose kind of had a falling out. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, again, I'm not a United fan, so you lot answer better than me, but it appears, at least at current, he doesn't quite prefer Bailly in the starting lineup, so we'll see. He's also contracted until 2020, so United need to decide between now and the summer what to do with him. So which that could obviously make an attractive proposition for Arsenal for obvious reasons. He's young. I mean, his contract's up, so I wouldn't say cut price, but there's a deal to be done. Previous years, the whole Man United dealing with Chelsea or Chelsea dealing with Arsenal, Arsenal dealing with Man United seems to have been squashed. All the top six are moving players between each other. Look at Oxlade-Chamberlain for Liverpool and that, for example, as well. Obviously, Spurs kind of make that logic not make sense, but you get the point. I would have liked Bailly if it was to come in January. I feel it was nothing more than paper talk, and of course there's other targets that I'd like us to look at. But I think Bailly, there's potential in there. There's a lot of rawness about him. He's an aggressive centre half, and I like it. But with that comes a lot of responsibility, and you run the risk of getting suspensions. I also feel Bailly's one of them players. I like him, but he's one of them when they make a clanger, it's a comical sort of clanger. He's obviously very raw. I mean, he's 24, but I'm not even away from his age. Look how many professional games he's played as a footballer. He hasn't played too many times for Villarreal when he had that. Playing for Villarreal and getting a jump to Man United, it happened very quickly for him. You can't underestimate getting 100. Obviously, I think he has now, but 100 plus career apps under your belt. So he's still learning. Obviously, I'm sure he speaks Spanish. So him and Unai Emery probably got a lot of similarities. So it would have been a decent signing, and definitely set out of some of the names we've been linked with and some of the options we look to be forced to. It could have definitely been a good one, but it'd be silly for United to sell him to us, in my opinion, and it's not gonna happen. So yeah, obviously it's sad, but you've seen Denis Suárez allegedly as well. The whole Denis Suárez stuff, we got to talk about that again. Willie, won't he? 1 minute it looked like it happened. Allegedly, Denis Suárez actually just wants Arsenal or nothing. Essentially, I can't believe that because he's not really playing. He's bound to have had interest from a number of decent, reputable clubs. I'm not saying the same stature of Barcelona, of course, but a decent amount of offers. So and he's hardly playing. You're seeing in the lineup, Seville, I think Seville versus Barcelona are playing each other. He hasn't been named in the cup competition for that. Allegedly, they're trying to press him for a decision. I get all sides of the agreement. If we allegedly don't want to commit to paying 20 million, like a mandatory sort of fee in the summer, then that's right on us. Because I mean, if he was to come and he hit the ground running, then sure, 20 million is nothing. But if he was to stink up the place or look a bit iffy, then we could conceive that while 20 million again isn't that much money, we can spend that better elsewhere. And I don't want to be strong-armed. For Barcelona, I get it. They want assurances. The player's contracted until 2020. Forgive me if I'm wrong and it's not the end of the season. I don't think it's the end of the season. But with that being said, if he goes on loan and he doesn't really do anything, will they be able to sell him? It looks a hard sell anyways, but would they make less from him? They need to protect their investment as well, because if he was to come Arsenal, hit the ground running, again, I'm just looking at it from a mad point of view, but hit the ground running, get 10 goals or 10 assists or something close to that, and hit the ground running, and everyone's talking about him. Barcelona haven't protected their investment. If he was to have that sort of season, and they alerted other clubs to think, okay, maybe we was a bit sceptical, let's try and get him. He's contracted until 2020. He could run his contract down, or if they do conceive that, okay, we need to sell him, or he's free to talk to clubs abroad from Spain in the January of the following year, do we conceive we sell him, which might be just a cut price sort of move. So I get all sides of it. Personally, it is what it is. I do think we haven't seen the end of it. It does feel there's a bit of gamesmanship in that department. I've been already saying that if we could take anyone on loan from Barcelona, I don't know why we haven't tried Malcolm, but I'm a football fan, so I don't know if they even tried or anything in regards to that, because I feel Malcolm is more down the lines of what we need immediately. So yeah, man, depending on how you look at it, 3 out of 4 failed moves. Well, three out of 3 failed moves essentially. If you look at the papers, we haven't got Bailly, Denis Suárez hasn't happened, we haven't got Monchi into the club. So 3 out of 3 ain't happened. But Unai Emery keeps speaking kind of, I wouldn't say bullish, but discreetly bullish in regards to arrivals. What sort of caliber player that is would be anyone's guess, but we'll probably see someone come in between now and the end of January, and the end of January is fast upon us, so it's going to need to move on. So yeah, got nothing more to add. Just thought I'd talk about them three people who have been linked to Arsenal and respectively what's happening, at least at newspaper talk value. So if nothing more, at least I've enjoyed a good 7-8 minutes with you lot. So people, deluded, I'm out. Thank you for preying and watching.